Okay, there's the swap over. Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Hey.
Welcome to, I guess let's look at it this way. I was having so much trouble streaming Wednesday and Thursday, where I was lashing out in such a negative way. And now streaming today, it's less so about being upset or stressed. Well, it's less being stressed and upset and more just somber, existing, understanding that, everything's different now. For anybody out of the loop, and I guess we'll kind of go through it fairly early on, at least the basics, just so that it's something that can be addressed. And
well, before we start with negative, I think we should start with the positives.
Do we want to talk about some of the positives first? Because I'm more than happy to talk about positives. Also, is our audio levels good? Can you hear both of us fine? I want to just make sure that, we're not going to have to...
I think it's better to talk about the things we positively did first before we go into the negative rambles.
I think that is fair, and I agree there. Sounds good. Snow maybe just up a little. I have Snow as loud as she can be. She just needs to be louder. Like, I have Snow at 200% on Discord. Like, I'm running her at max.
I can also reduce my audio for game a little bit more, too.
You're just always quiet on my end.
It's because we stream after I take naps.
Yeah. Sounds nice and clear to me. Gotta make a sandwich. Good, bad, good. Helps a lot. Yeah, I guess that's really fair. Then I guess let's kind of go through the positives of the weekend. At least some of them. Maybe, do we want to start with talking about Sunday? Since I think Sunday was kind of our highlight, and the end of Sunday kind of leads into the somberness of everything.
I think if we go that route, yeah, because then we can talk about how Sunday had us ended, and I think it's a good segue.
And then after we're done talking about it, we can talk about, like, the pool party. We can talk about all the other fun events that occurred and craziness.
Just keep in mind as we talk, due to confidentiality things, there are going to be things we can't go into, that we can't talk about. We'll try to indicate stuff that's there, but there is technically a confidentiality clause for things that we can and can't discuss.
Yeah.
So please
we're going
understand that.
We're gonna talk about stuff. I want to talk about stuff. There's only a certain amount of stuff we can talk about on the record, and I'm gonna kind of try to use this to get across everything that's occurred and how we felt. And I think starting to talk about the positives is a very good method with this, because we can talk about the positives of Sunday, and then we can talk about all the rough stuff that happened, and then we can go back and revisit Sunday and explain the bits that were rough about it that you only realize in hindsight. So we can kind of see it.
So a lot of this
way.
is going to be how things affected us, our opinions on it, what our perspective is, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, I guess let's start off with some background. I'm Chewy. If you've never been here before, I feel like a lot of you have, but if this is your first time and you were at Aquatifur and this is your first time discovering this, I will pop a stream marker just here so that we're able to kind of pull where's needed. I'm Chewy. I have been a volunteer at Aquatifur since the first year, which I believe was 2017. I have gone from doing ops the first year, which was a horrible decision, to doing event staff for the next 4-ish years, and I've spent the rest of it being the charity director for this convention. I have worked with 2 separate charities throughout the years and have kind of gotten an art to it in terms of record keeping, managing, and running essentially a single person team that pulls people from wherever and whichever departments is needed when they're needed for some of the larger scale events. Snow?
So I have a little bit less of a background with Aquatifur. I only got brought in last year due to my extensive experience with anime conventions and starting to get involved into the furry community. Working with voice actors translated very well to working with local furs and artists and stuff and treating them so that they feel special to attend a convention. I also partially got brought on to help Chewy kind of be an assistant due to the hour requirements for people to work. Both of our departments unfortunately fell into a weird situation of we couldn't get additional staffers and still fulfill those hour requirements.
That is something that we can share because it's a requirement on the volunteer form, correct?
Yep, it was a thing that was upon. It's a publicly available information. This year especially, they were very adamant about every staffer working 18 hours. And with our 2 departments, it just isn't feasible with 2 people to have that amount of hours, but we work way more than that 18 hours throughout the con.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some of you saw us running our heads off.
Yeah, if you have been at the con, you've seen that no matter what, we are going through it in one way, shape, or form. Something's happening that needs our help. It's not always our department, but we tend to pull the reins and try to help make sure that everything's going. Going off of that, on Saturday, or Sunday, since, everyone hasn't spawned in yet. Okay. The enemy didn't spawn in, so I didn't even know they existed yet. Sunday, Techno, Snow, and I actually got to do something we haven't done in a long time. At least Techno and I.
Forever.
If back in the day, Techno and I met by specifically being the Fursuit Games coordinators together. This year, because we were kind of short-staffed with some issues, me and Techno ended up pulling the reins again, kind of letting AV have full reign on a lot of controls, but us being the hosts. Now, we also got to bring in Snow, so that was very enjoyable because Snow got to kind of get a feel for what we do. And I'd like to think she did really well at it.
I had to be a bit evil because during Fursuit Games, which is kind of a funny thing, everyone unionized.
Yeah, so for a first, and you know, it's hilarious it happened during this one. The attendees decided to get into collective bargaining and trying to get both of their teams to kind of see about everybody winning in the end. And I mean, you know me, I'm a sucker for collective bargaining. So I obviously fed into it a little bit, accepted a bribe for charity, looked the other way for a thing or two, and made sure in the end at Fursuit Games that everybody won as a single team. Because I think out of any year, this is the year where everyone together is strong. And if our participants believe that as well, then I think we're all in a good spot.
Yep.
You both did great at the
In the
Fursuit
end-
Games. I'm very happy that everybody thinks that.
Mm-hmm. We do it for the community, and with this having been our last year and the community wanting to work together to win, we just couldn't say no.
How could we not? Yeah, the Techno getting hit in the crotch with a puck was probably one of the funniest things that could occur when it's a headless lounge and no one's allowed to film. Honestly, I think Sunday was one of those days that almost made me regret what I was about to have to do. Because of just how much And I think it was because
Fun.
the gang was working together in our prime, focusing specifically on what we were good at with minimal involvement from anyone higher up than us. And I think the fact that when we were left to our own devices, we could still remember what this con means to us, what this entire event means to us. I think the fact that that's still a thing made it hurt a little bit more at the end. But yeah, I feel like that day's chaos definitely was amazing. Speaking of that, we can go straight into what was it called? Pretty much after Fursuit Games was right into charity auction. And
Which Fursuit Games was so much fun that I've not been connecting with the Fursuit Chewie lent to me, because that's her old one that we pulled out, that I had to tell her I need to go back to the room to change into Shadow.
She wasn't feeling my old fursuit, and after seeing how much fun everyone was having, she wanted to use mine again, even though she doesn't relate to it as much now that she has her own, persona. But I feel like, and that's the kind of magic that being a host like that entails. You want that kind of dedication and love to it, where you feel like this is where everything is going to be okay. And I think it'll still always be there. I don't think it'll be gone. I think it's just because of everything at Aquatifur that I can't do it there anymore. But enough about the sad bits for a second. Let's go to a charity auction where Techno, Snow, and I, for the first time all together, ran a charity auction together. Usually Tango and I do that, but they were wanting to go to the pool with their partner, which I 100% understand. And I felt like Techno and Snow and I would be able to handle it by themselves. And I think the funnest thing about it is I was told multiple conflicting things. I thought we did fine. I thought we had a perfect mix of, getting the auction done, but also, having fun with it. Snow, what was yours? You played it too straight, you thought?
I thought we were too straight, and Techno thought we were too bitty.
So every person thought we were doing something about it wrong. You two being straight, I know that's the funny part. But the fact that afterwards we were told this was the funniest and best charity auction that they've ever seen. And this is the first one. I've always, so I like to base a lot of my charity auction stuff off of First Squared's kind of energy. And one of the big things with it was I always wondered, how do the charity auctioneers there, how do they, collapse? Because, I've seen them collapse multiple times from, donations and stuff. And I'm like, how do you get overwhelmed with stuff so much that occurs? And then this year happened.
You were on the ground, not once, but multiple times.
I have fallen down multiple times during that, unable to completely handle myself because of either how funny it was, how crazy it was, or how much money was going into this. I was not able to handle it.
I believe number one ended up going for 1750.
Yeah. So our one of the bigger sales things is the number badges. So they're fursuit tag badges, and they always tend to go for a lot of money because people like to collect them. So people will collect a certain number. Number one sold for 1725. That was so much money. And I sat down at the start of it going, here we go. I'm not even going to stand up because I know this is going to get insane. And I still fell on the floor. Because the amount of money that was being stated, and these people constantly checking their bank accounts back and forth, back and forth.
$1,725.
Sorry, I'm bad with numbers. I think the other one that got me falling on the floor, not from shock, but from laughter, is someone's brought an off-brand Labubu to sell. And during the sale, I discovered it had a little thing on, like a little like switch on it to turn it on. And it started just fucking walking around. It started walking around the entire table. And this girl up front in the front row was outbidding everybody and begging. She was literally turning and begging to them, going, no, please, I need this. I need this so much. Please, please do not bid on this. I need this. And she is like begging, and I am on the floor. I cannot breathe. Snow had to take over because it is just the funniest thing watching this woman beg for this twerking Labubu that's on 4 legs just crawling around.
It was so hard not to speed up the like going once, going twice sold for her.
I would not have forgiven myself if she didn't get it. Like,
neither would I have.
And I feel like everyone in that room understood. Apparently it comes from a knockoff Labubu that twerks.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it was probably the largest charity auction I've ever done, with the highest amount of money I've ever raised for a charity. And I think that's another, like, big thing for me.
Charity auction alone, it was the most you've ever raised.
The charity auction alone was more money than we raised last year at the con, yes. So, last Aquatifur, we raised $8,000 for charity. It's not bad. Can't complain. But this year, just in the charity auction, we raised around $10,000. Can't forget the touch grass box either. Oh yeah, we had AV has a box that's like fake grass in it that's touch grass. And I go around and it's got a couple ducks in it, and someone goes, "Can I donate a couple more ducks?" And I go, "Sure." So I start walking around. That box was full by the time I made a half rotation around the room. Full of cups, bunch of ducks, plushies, little trinkets, someone's Dave & Buster's card. I'm pretty sure someone put a gift card in there. I think I had to talk someone out of putting their debit card in there.
Yeah, you said there was a debit card in there at one point.
I think I had to give it back to them because I'm like, no, we're not doing this. I'm not committing fraud on your behalf for charity. Some of my favorite moments include when Snow and Chewie bumped into each other and Snow dropped their mic into a water glass, and after Snow had to move the items into camera, she's like, then what's the point of the line? Oh yeah, I made Snow spill water.
You didn't make me spill water. You literally knocked the microphone out of my hand into the cup, and the cup stayed upright.
Hey, you should be impressed by that.
I was. I don't think AV was impressed by us knocking it into the water.
Oh no, 100%. They're probably quite mad, but we do what we can. I'm just glad that it all went well. Oh yeah, you donated a Youper bar. Yeah, I was jealous that I couldn't eat that because I was like, chocolate. But I think it was also that time of the month for me, so chocolate always goes hard. But yeah, so just the charity auction this year raised more than we raised last year at the charity, and like in total for the charity. So I was already like, oh, this is gonna be a crazy year. But after charity auction's done, we have to get the math all together so that we can get the totals, because charity auction goes straight into closing ceremonies. So I'm sitting there with Snow doing math with her and the owner of the charity, because we're both trying to get totals to see how close we are. And Snow, I think you have the total on your phone?
Yeah. Give me a second. The total was $19,572.61.
So we almost raised $20,000 for charity this year. that was a almost 100% growth in our charity fundraising compared to the year prior. It was over 100%. Because I think last year we had somewhere around 8,000. Yeah, no, it was insane. And I was so proud of our community for what they were able to achieve.
With a new charity, we were a little scared.
Yeah. Especially considering it's a new charity that, like, a lot of people aren't used to. It's up in Appleton and Green Bay, so it's like some of our Fox Valley people might know them, but not everybody will. So it's like, will there be that level of connection? Will people be down for cats as much as they were for birds? Like, there were a lot of concerns. But we blew everything out of the water, including our attendance numbers, with us hitting, I believe it was a 50% growth in attendees almost as well.
57%.
57% growth as well. And that made it really hard. So, I guess this is how we're gonna have to go into it now, is starting from the start, because we talked about the good bits that happened and how wonderful closing was and how great it felt having me up on stage with our charity person, getting a chance to talk to her and like have her come up and present and talk in front of everybody. It felt like I did a really good job. It made me very happy with myself. When I heard they have ties with the coffee shop, I legit donated 100. Best coffee shop in Appleton, and cats aside. Yeah, no, they have wonderful cats and really good merch. They straight up told me they ran out of merch. Like, they don't have merch left. We bought it all. Y'all crazy cats literally like bought them out of like most of their stuff, which warms my heart. I think the fact that it snowed and they were selling really nice sweatshirts also helped a lot.
Oh yeah, I saw quite a few of the sweatshirts around.
I know Lost straight up said, like, I bought one because it was cold going to my car and they're really cute and it matches my car. So I'm like, hell yeah. But what happened afterwards was Snow had already done her bit. So she was already sitting backstage when I came off. And I sat down and we listened to Techno and Jace do the final bits for closing. And as soon as they stepped off, and all that was left up there was the other chair, who is unaffiliated with the kind of crew that we run around with in Wisconsin.
And not a part of really everything that went on.
Yeah, and is kind of the one that, like, essentially is more friendly with the board than anything. Is when we realized that that would be the last time. It's already tearing up. Fuck. That would be the last time that I would step up on that stage. And I didn't realize it until I stepped off that stage, that I wouldn't be doing it anymore at this con. And that it was it.
Yep.
And I
the
think
moment we all stepped off and we were all together, it was you, me, Jace, Techno, and a few others, but it wasn't until all four of us were off stage that everyone kind of started breaking down.
I think we all kind of realized it in that moment. No, we are not doing that, River. I did not handle that day well after that. And all of you know, charity auction and like closing, it all happened at like what, 3, 4?
3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, yeah, I believe.
Yeah, so it's really difficult. It ended at 5:30? Okay. Yeah, it was a very difficult and rough thing to be going through. And I think not really expecting it is kind of where it kicked me in the tail. Because you're never really prepared for the end. And I think that's kind of where a lot of the real... Oh, and I think Sunday going into all of it, nervous, knowing that was going to occur, and then kind of forgetting that it was going to occur, because we got into such a good flow state with everybody, where it felt like everything was going right again. I think that definitely was rough.
It was bittersweet.
It was
because
yeah.
We love the community, and this is what we all do it for, putting on a show for you guys. Making sure everyone can have fun and enjoy themselves.
I think one of the things more so than it hurt viewers that we were in the moment was that the stress of having to be strong to uphold the enjoyment for the community and to not let the cracks show had kind of made it, with the weeks leading up to it, that I wasn't stressed. I was more anxious and numb. I didn't think I had any emotion left in me because of everything that had happened leading up to it and the feelings that AEI had made us feel. And I think because of the fact that we delivered our resignations Friday morning before the con started, and that our contracts essentially ended the second that the con did, realizing that it's over, they can't touch us, but also I'm done with this con, altogether kind of hit like a brick and was able to kind of like allow me to have those emotions that I knew would be coming, but I wasn't allowing myself to have because I was more worried about the bad things that could happen prior to it that I had to plan for and have contingencies. Do you plan to go as a non-staff attendee or done with it altogether? I do not believe I will be attending it as a paid individual. I am willing, if they continue to work with Safe Haven, to go and work with the charity to still do a job there. But I will never be working for AEI as a company again. That is kind of the place that I will stand in this, is that I will not work for any of their conventions. That being said, there are still other conventions around that I either am still working for or in talks to work with. For anyone who's kind of been passively listening with me in Snow Streaming, I am heading up the creation of a charity department for KitsuneCon. They've never had someone who's individually...
We have. They've just not been good at it.
Okay. They've never had somebody that was to the caliber and experience that I have running stuff. And I've been working with one of the board members, and they seem really excited with my kind of ideas and stuff, and have been super receptive about trying to make stuff work with making limited edition merch, pairing with voice actors, and seeing if we can get like merch runs from Crunchyroll that we can donate, or kind of just reaching out to all of our talent that's coming in and seeing what we can, make work.
It's all stuff in the talks in the works.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And yeah, Frost, the community is why I do it. The community is why all of us do it. None of us would go through this if it wasn't for how much love we have for the community. And that's why I think I know a lot of people said that Thursday and Friday, I heard there was a lot of here tell that stuff was up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear Tango talks about the
Um,
Organizers doing. Wish they would just let you guys run it like 2024. We don't even have a good answer for what occurred. Essentially, we got punished because they started punishing other conventions of their own, because apparently some of their conventions don't have the best volunteer staff. I believe it might be because of where they're located. A lot of their conventions are located on the West Coast, and I know people act differently in different parts of the United States. We're a big country. We have a lot of different, personality types. That being said, I've never seen a local community who puts so much love and care into a convention, who's done everything above and beyond. Even if it's not your department, if something's happening, you're jumping in, you're helping. And to see a lot of them not feel like they're able to, like,
I will say it once more, this time on stream. I think the biggest example of it is the stuff that happened with Tango's panel with Smash and Pass.
Yeah.
Something went wrong, and you had 4 directors immediately taking charge, trying to get it sorted out.
Yeah.
There was me, you, Jace, and Techno.
Mm-hmm.
And there was multiple other just staffers helping us organize the line, move people from one place to the next, getting information, and just doing our best to relay it. We worked with everyone, and we tried to get it sorted as quickly as we could.
And I think by this point it was Friday or Saturday night, and
That's
by
Saturday.
Saturday night. By this point, the board had already kind of backed away and not let us do our things again. But it didn't change the fact. It just made it clear we know what we're doing more than they do, and when they try to handle stuff, mess ups like what happened occurred.
I think the biggest thing for the spike of attendance is you, not saying that we're popular in any way, but you have me, Tango, and Chewy who all stream. You have everyone on the staff who advertise and like talk about Aquatifur leading up to it at things like Fang and other events, Furski, Foursquared, stuff like that. Like, we talk year round and promote.
Mm-hmm.
We have friends who come up from other states and bring groups and
I
stuff
think the
like
big thing as well is last year we had a 40% growth.
Mhm.
And we're a party con. Wisconsinites know how to party. And the fact that it went so well and everything, was running great meant all those people who held parties went to their other friends who like to party and went, hey, this place is great for parties because we designed it to be that way. But they cannot, the people who think like that don't know what's, going on behind the scenes, and us kind of struggling with that. Wisconsin, and you're right, Wisconsin furs are kind of a crazy branch of people because there's cliques, but they're not as insane as a lot of other places I've heard.
We're more inclusive.
Anyone
if you're
can
willing
get
to
in.
drink or just tell a story or do something, I feel like you can get in pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. As long as you can be social and know how to have a good time, you'll fit right in, and you'll be able to make friends and get your way in. It's never felt like it's inaccessible. Just by existing for a while in the community, you're able to kind of learn, meet everybody. And the way we work stuff in this community is we encourage people's skills and passions. If you're good at something, we'll encourage you to do it. And if you want to learn something, we're more than happy to train you. It's never, I know better than you, so I'm going to tell you what to do. It's, hey, I'm doing this. Do you want to take care of this so I don't have to worry about that? It's, we're working alongside each other. It's never somebody giving commands while doing nothing. Hey, guys from Switzerland show up? Damn! That's amazing. And I mean, that's the reach. We even go to other states' cons to have Wisconsin like room party kind of things to show how much we know how to party. We had a hot tub pool party in the middle of winter. It was snowing. And we're having a hot tub party outside. Like,
yeah, I'm so happy Techno hosted a party for me.
I think it was Saturday night. I went to every room to get the drink stand sticker bomb, and it was like one of the best moments I've had fursuiting like ever. And that's amazing. And that's the kind of community we want to involve. Our goal within the local community was to buy out the entire fucking con so that there wouldn't be any normies complaining about sound.
And everyone made us have to open another room block, and unfortunately we still had people complain.
Yeah. And I don't know if we'd ever be able to figure that out, but it was something we wanted to try. And mind you, we weren't done. We have more ideas for things and parties there that the local community are the only ones privy to, because we brainstormed them by ourselves and the board never really wanted to expand anything other than what we've already made. So if we ever get a chance, and by God willing, we hope that we can make another, do something, continue conventions in the state, and make something that is our own, we're not gonna stop at something simple. We're gonna become the party con again. One way or another, it's going to happen. And we're going to keep you all up to date, because we want it to keep happening. Fursuit laser tag when? Oh god.
When I get my fursuit.
I think it's less a con-specific problem and more of a sometimes party cons get wild, there's no way to fully keep it under control. That is true, but also if you have people on the staff who are skilled with managing stuff like that, who are also party hosts, who can
I think it just annoyed me that
them.
we got a complaint about it at like 5 p.m.
Yeah, someone's complaining at 5 p.m. that the music in the hot tub is too loud. 5 p.m.
Like,
who's trying to go to bed at 5 p.m.?
I get it. I get EP at 7 p.m. I'd understand at 7, but yeah.
No, we
had
were
to
having
turn
to
the
do
music
audio
down.
issues and like control it. That happened last year too. Yeah. Who's going to bed at 7 p.m.? Who cares about the noise if it's not gonna
No,
go?
not 7 p.m. 5 p.m.
Yeah. Who cares about the noise at 5 p.m.? I don't get that. How they feel about the rave? So the thing about the rave is it's not near any of the rooms. The only people who would complain is the steakhouse. And I don't think they really complain. Hang on, listen to this on a drive home from work in the car, and this vaguely reminds me of talk radio. I mean, I think this is more likely than anything considered a podcast. Discussing Aquatifur, the podcast. I legitimately think it's like just Karens and stuff more than anything. Bun, thank you for the resub. Thank you everyone who's followed so
not
far.
Much you can do but talk about the complainers behind our back.
So there's stuff like that occurred. I have to be careful because I have to remember there's some things I can't talk about.
Yeah. I guess let's go straight through. I'm gonna pop another stream marker for it. Let's go straight through the negatives, starting from kind of pre-con to during the con. That is stuff that we can talk about. Throughout the starting planning phases for this con, so you know Midwesterners, we love planning stuff. We love getting stuff all planned and ready so that we don't even got to think about it. That it's all ready to go as soon as possible.
Okay,
so we're planning this. We're already having discussions and talks and kind of ideas in April. March, April is when we're starting to kind of get our ideas together. Especially, having an idea such as breaking the fourth wall. We have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of things we want to do, and a lot of methods and like bits that we want to do throughout the con, including our shirt. One of the first things we thought of was our shirt design. Our shirt design that most of us wanted was to look like a film crew. So, you know, fairly simple, has like the title, and there's like a little like patch on like where your breast pocket would be. And then on the back it would say like Aquatifur crew or something like that, like maybe just make it staff, but still say something like that to make it, you know, understandable for what we are. Who saw the staff shirts this year that they went with and we never got to see until they were made? A white t-shirt with the crew with Aquatifur staff on the front and just a black and white logo on the back. Not even on the theme that we were going for of like looking like a TV crew, or like that we were filming the convention live, which was kind of our idea with that, is we wanted it to look like we were doing a live like filming, like the convention was the film that we were making right now and here. That was our idea with it. Exactly. We didn't get to really see anything, and so I have to say this very specifically. We could talk about all the merch that came out, right? Even the dealer's merch?
Nah. Dealers technically isn't public.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that they've discussed that it's like been... I don't know.
Better safe than sorry.
Okay. So, in terms of merch for staff, now I'm going to specifically state for staff because Snow and I got upgraded to patron due to kerfuffles from last year for what we all had to deal with. You know, if this...
That's not true. I get it because I am guest of honor and I have to get into those zones.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I'm going to clarify that right up.
Being on photo staff with your crew type design would have been awesome. Yeah! Wasn't it annoying because of F-Class? Yeah, well, F-Class didn't make any of our outfits this year. So we didn't even have really any unique merch this year. So for the last 2 years, we had a hockey jersey, and we had the F-Class is just gone? I didn't realize they were non-existent. But we had gotten kind of themed things for both years. And this year, let's see, what was offered right before the con in terms of like our options? It was, we get a staff shirt, you get a staff lanyard, and I think up until a week before the con, it said that you get a staff dinner. That was it. We are required to work 18 hours over 3 days. I'd say more 2.5 days due to the fact that we end at 5 o'clock, but there is load in and load out. We never got fed officially by the con. The only times we did was after we did our resignations. Sometimes they would tell us to go eat from the dealer's food. We Techno, specifically Techno, who was in charge of this, ended up at the end of the con taking out of their own pocket. And if you need me to pay you any bit for that, Techno, let me know. I'm more than happy to chip in for it.
We talked about it.
Okay.
Between stuff, once I start my job.
They paid, and we made a giant meal for our staff at the end of the con. They got burgers, chicken, fries, mac and cheese, all sorts of photos, all sorts of snacks, all out of our own pockets.
What upset me the most about this is they removed the staff meal from the page where you volunteer and said nothing to staff.
There was no discussion that this occurred, even though it was brought up that they mentioned it, and that It was mentioned to. Meow. No.
You can't discuss that.
Okay. Yeah. It was not mentioned to any of the staff in a accessible channel. I heard it went to 3 a.m. We left fairly early on because me and Snow wanted to go cuddle up in our own bed.
We wanted to go home. We wanted to cuddle. We wanted to see Finn, Chewie's cat.
Yeah, after everything that happened, all the
We love
emotional
everyone.
bits.
We're introverts.
After everything that occurred, we wanted to settle down a little bit. But it was something that was promised up until the con and then quietly removed without any, like, mention to anybody else. And I think that's the roughest bit, is the fact that they could have sent out a message at any time. There were people in our crew who volunteer for the very specific reason of the benefits, because they can't afford a con themselves.
Well, that's part of what staffing is. You provide benefits for people to make it worth it. They are dedicating their time to an event. At the end of a day, a staff member should, and technically always is, just another attendee.
And
they are volunteering their time for the convention.
And the fact that some people suddenly had to worry about where their next meal is going to come from. Fuck, with me working that much, there were times where I couldn't find a point where I could eat. Like, just plain and simple, I couldn't find a time to spend my own money to get food.
It was a battle for me and you constantly.
You're
gonna hear a lot of this, Rabid. A lot of the issues are gonna stem sheerly from communication issues.
Yes. So we've talked about merch, we've talked about benefits. Let's go into policy. I guess I should bring this up to you, Snow. Am I allowed to discuss about how my standard operation procedures were questioned harshly?
Nothing marketing. Send me a general overview quick on Telegram, what you want to say.
Sure. That's messaging Poppy. I should
Sorry,
not send that to
folks.
Poppy.
Like I said, there's going to be stuff we have to be careful with. So, give us a moment. And I heard that general discourse even from like patrons. I had patrons walk up to me and be like, "What am I even paying for? I'm paying 3 times the price of a normal badge."
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's another thing this year. Badge prices went up and benefits, like, to the individual attendees went down. Like, I was in the patron luncheon, grabbing a bite to eat because that was the only place we could get food at that point.
You can't get into the specifics, but you can get into the generalistic and stuff of like lack of documentation and stuff.
Okay.
Keep it vague.
So, a lot of my role and a lot of Snow's role at the same time are 2 roles that don't have documentation really for what you have to do.
I'm gonna stop you right even there. The org doesn't have documentation despite requests to have it, which results in conflicting issues and questions and stuff where we get one answer and something else is told, and it caused a lot of confusion. During con, some of the board members got better about it. Like, I will give credit where credit is due. They explained a little bit better, but leading up to the convention, we couldn't get anything in writing to explain how things were or what we should be doing. We were on an island.
Yeah. So So I'm allowed to oh god, we're gonna have to run an ad soon. I'm gonna try to pause. I'm gonna snooze it for a little bit longer. But after this game, I'm gonna have to run an ad just so that it doesn't
okay.
like auto run
Well-
ads for people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so my best practices were consistently like questioned, and then when I told them exactly how I did it, they essentially would go, "Oh yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it." But I spent essentially a day being yelled at that like I'm putting everything in trouble. I could get us sued, yada yada yada. And then when I give them a basic overview, they go, "Oh yeah, that's what we're supposed to do." So I'm being gaslit for just doing my job that I've always done with proper documentation, multiple points of everything, you know, handling things in the most professional way that someone who's been trained to handle money can. And that's what happens a lot of the time is you will have an idea throughout a lot of this. The board, to some degree, would put you down and then eventually go with your idea because they couldn't find something better. Or like how it would be at the con, just give up and let you do it because you know what you're doing against their thoughts that no matter what, like they know best. And that leads me to even the attendees having issues. I heard tell, so that now I need to preface, this is all hearsay from people's personal opinions from what we heard at con, that attendees were feeling very upset that they would pay 3 times as much for their patron badge, and they felt like they got almost nothing in return, including the fact that apparently a lot of the things that they were given that are supposed to be special were just given to everybody after a certain point. Because
Rabbit, if you want to explain what you mean by the incident, I might be able to elaborate some.
Is that the noise complaint issue? Because
I don't know. That's why I said if they can elaborate, continue your topic.
So even like sponsors, the people who pay the big money, the ones that like fund these conventions, like our patrons and our sponsors, felt like they were getting shafted. The fact that not only our staff had those feelings, but that attendees were feeling it too, feels very unfair. Because our attendees should feel like they are being treated. You know, this is...
Also, a big issue, and this was publicly available, the sponsor lounge all weekend long permanently had signs that said dealers only on it. So a lot of patrons and sponsors who had bought the badge for access to that lounge didn't even technically have access if they followed the signs.
Oh, okay, so that the person yelling at attendees, so that was during... Technically, we're allowed to talk about this because it happened in the public, and there's probably recordings of it.
I would not. I know exactly what you want to talk about, and I understand why.
I don't want to talk about that bit. I only want to talk about the public bit that occurred. And who that person was. No?
I love you, no.
Okay.
I fully understand why. You're gonna get in trouble for that one. It gets into... I will explain later to you, but no. You can describe the time it occurred, but do not get into the person. Do not get into what all occurred.
Yeah, it happened before Burlesque, apparently, is all that I know. I was working in Burlesque, figuring out charity stuff because we had to get that all set up, and I was learning that I can operate cameras really well for Burlesque because I'm a performer. So I was giving our camera operator essentially like cues while I was swapping between the 2 cameras to give them like to make sure that everything looked really good. That was kind of what I was doing at that time.
Meat Bug, what you're talking about, that is exactly the situation that occurred.
Yeah.
That I am not letting Chewie explain further.
Yeah, that is an extremely sensitive topic because of the fact that we know so much about it, so we can't talk about it. Y'all can talk about it in chat. I can't talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'm not letting you talk about it just due to the nature of the event.
Yeah, sadly.
Something happened, an incident occurred, and it had to be resolved. That is all we can say about that topic.
Yeah, sadly.
Sorry, folks. I am gonna protect us as much as I can.
Yeah,
and like I said, there's gonna be stuff we can't.
Just because we are free from them does not mean that there's still not a worry that they are going to it. That like they might try to come after us in some way, shape, or form. We are unsure, and we want to try to be safe because I'd rather not end up. I'm broke. I can't end up in litigation. I can barely afford like the food that like I paid for this con, which the fact that it's only expensive food places there is really the icing on the cake in terms of
that was the biggest issue.
Yeah,
for me, of the lack of communication about that. For me, who's working 3 jobs and was barely able to afford bills, finding that out via me going back and double checking policies and stuff, for me having turned in my resignation, I wanted to make sure I had the correct wording and stuff, and to see that had been silently removed was upsetting.
Like I got a little bit of merch if anyone has seen. I posted a few of them, and if not, I got a couple like wall hangers and stuff, just some more art for my room, just because I've been trying to decorate my room. But like, when a single meal for me and Snow is the same price as like everything that I bought in the dealer's den, it's kind of a fair bit of it. Let's be fair.
How's that badge art that you bought?
I wasn't even thinking about the badge art when I was thinking about that. Okay, half.
I know.
Half of what I got in terms of supporting everyone in the dealer's den and like getting stuff.
I know you weren't because you don't physically have it yet.
Yeah. Expensive food on site or a minimum 20-minute round trip drive to somewhere affordable off-site. Definitely puts stress on every staff member if leadership isn't providing what they promised. Exactly. And again, it would be more understandable if we were told.
And then on top of that, it's a 20-minute round trip drive to get something affordable, and we had our highest attendance yet. We couldn't guarantee getting a parking spot back or a decent one to be able to quickly get back to our station.
Or being free. Remember, we were working, and as the only people in our department,
me and Chewie struggled to get food on site.
Yeah, like even just ordering food on site and sitting around long enough for it to be made and brought to us was something difficult. Okay. Since we're getting close to ad things, we're gonna take a break right now. We're gonna run our ads so that we have another hour where people can hop in without having to worry. We're gonna have about a 3-minute ad break. Everyone get some water, take a break, and we'll come back to this and keep going.
Running, so
okay,
mine will be done in a minute.
I'm gonna run mine at least, and I will see you all in about 3 minutes. I'm gonna grab some water real quick as well. So Snow, I think we're both, if you want to entertain anybody who is a subscriber, but I am going to get something to drink and maybe a little numb.
Yay, now I don't have ads. I guess for people who are subscribed or don't have ads right now, Jess got me and Chewy a really amazing couples art that I am realizing I should post into the art channel. Which, for both me and Chewy after the convention, was so appreciative. There you guys go. So we have our first ever couples art. This is technically my first art since my completed ref. And it's absolutely adorable. It's so cute. It was super needed today with Chewy at work because she had off yesterday, and me in the midst of my work stuff. We have been gushing about it since we received it. So thank you, Jess. I also know that Chewy and I felt very bad for all of our friends who came and saw us at the convention with us running around. We wanted to say hi more or things like that. But timing just was rough, and with everything going on, we struggled to find any of the time. Just trying to think of what things I can kind of cover. Did she post the first photo we haven't hated yet? Has that gone live in the Discord? I don't recall. I don't know if she posted that.
Oh yeah, are you showing off the art?
Did you post the first photo that we haven't hated of ourselves?
I think so. Let me see. I think I posted it in general. Yeah, it's in general. I can repost if you want.
I just didn't know if you had posted it. I was like trying to figure out what things I could talk about that were good that we didn't. The issue or different thing is that it's the first photo both Chewy and I didn't go, oh, I hate myself or XYZ or something. We couldn't find an issue. We both went, oh.
If you're in my general, I popped the ping to it, so it'll essentially drag you straight up to it. And if you're not a member yet, since I think, yeah, I'm back from Ad Suite, so if you haven't yet, our Discord is here if you'd like to keep up with everything we're doing as well. And yeah, Snow got Jess got me and Snow really cute art. Did you post that in the art channel? You did. Yes. It's super cute. So also, before I forget, sour Altoids are back.
Yes, she absolutely adores it.
I got tangerine. I think my grandparents usually got mango. Either way, I'm super excited. So, now I think we discuss Saturday night, and then we rehash Sunday from the negative perspective. Because throughout all of those, there was negative bits that we either ignored or didn't realize till later.
I will listen to you, but I am going to be prepared to cut you off.
So, we had discussed this, but Saturday night, if you had gone to Smash or Pass, you might have to either gone through a situation or heard about it, where it became LineCon for 30 minutes. Two panels got conflicted. Somebody who had no No.
According to what I heard, which is a rumor, hearsay, etc.,
Yes.
one of the higher ups told speed dating that they were allowed in that room because that is where they were last year. I don't know how true that is. Like I said, it was a rumor, hearsay, etc. That is supposedly how speed dating ended up in there during the time. I believe Techno had a different perspective and stuff.
Yeah.
Which resulted in Smasher Pass being relocated down to special events, which once Chewy and I got out of Furlure,
Because we
we
had to
found
count
that
them.
out.
Yeah, we had
with
to.
Tango.
We had to
because we're
count the
all
money
part
and
of-
then had to rush over to get ready for Smasher Pass. I didn't even have a chance to go
so
grab
all
my
of the
first
hosts
suit.
were busy with Furlure.
Mhm.
We didn't see it until after we got out, which was like immediately before the panel occurred.
Yes.
So we get down there, and after having heard that that's where it's moved, there is no equipment, nothing to be able to run Smasher Pass.
Now, mind you, this requires panel seating. There was no seating there. It requires AV equipment. There was no AV equipment there. It requires hookups, microphones. There was none of that there. It was essentially an open room. Something that would, be accessible and perfectly fine for speed dating. Which can be done, with a phone timer and someone shouting commands. But not Smash or Pass, where we put characters up on the screen and we all debate the intricacies of courting them. Yeah, I went to speed dating. We all went to the special events area and then had a runner come down and say it got moved to secondary. Oh. We had a line around the entire special events area of people who were waiting for Smash or Pass.
It looked like a reg line. I got down there and it looked like a reg line.
So they never told us that we could grab mics or radio. So I had never touched a radio at that con. And the volunteer that was down there, bless their heart, I go, fuck, I don't have a radio. And he passes me that radio, and I'm immediately keying up our ops guy to go, hey, I need you down here. I need to figure this out now. We need to clear this up. And this is where I'll give the board credit. With the amount of people that came to figure this out and work on this, one of the board members pretty much just went, y'all have this. You take over. We'll make this work, and whatever you say we'll do. Essentially.
Yep, I have, like I said, their credit is due where credit is due, and they did do things good at the con in certain instances, and there were still some issues in other ones, but
yeah,
this is one of the ones where they did handle it well.
I feel like there were a few panels 18 plus that were noon and 2 o'clock that was weird to me. Yeah, so
unfortunately, panels is just a matter of what gets submitted, and we have to fill it in.
It's you ever watch that Jimmy Neutron episode where they're trying to put both of two people's brains together, but they're all together, and it's just clicking and dragging? It's essentially that, where you give us all of your panels, and then we have to go, this one definitely would go here, or this one should fit here. And in a just world, this is done in a group chat with some brewskis, a couple months before the con, with a large group of people so that there are multiple voices planning and plotting. Now, I don't think that's been the case for a little bit now, but I remember back in the day when I was part of events that we would do that, and it was very fun and enjoyable to get everything set up. And if we didn't have enough panels, the events team would decide, I could run a panel like this. I can do the pacer test. Yeah, let's put a pacer test right here. And that's where you get some of the weird panels. Who Gave Chewy a Mic was before this, but still, actually no, it might have been because of this. Oh god, I think it was because of that. Where I was like, we need to fill space. I'm like, give me a talk show. What? Give me a talk show. And then I formed a cult. This is also usually
yeah, you did.
not safe for 18 plus panels, so some do fall into exception where panels end up earlier. Yeah. Oh, you mean Jimmy and Cindy
Yep.
switch buys to get their back to their friends? Yeah. That's not the first time I've talked about that. I think that was brought up at some point earlier. I think that came up
You
during
like
the con.
bringing up Jimmy Neutron stuff. I'm gonna be fully honest.
I think somebody was quoting Jimmy Neutron and I was quoting back. I think that's what occurred. But either way, yeah, usually event stuff is kind of all set up as a group, and wherever stuff fits, it fits. Now what occurred on Saturday night was someone making an executive decision at the con and not really alerting anybody. At least that's what
Supposedly,
that's what
again.
we were told when we were trying to figure this out. That could be someone throwing another person under the bus, or that could be an honest mistake. But that's just all we were
It's the
told.
information we have.
Yes. I know, I think I mentioned that exact episode to you. I think you did. But essentially, they kind of let us take care of stuff that when after I called, we not only had our ops come down, we had multiple runners or our like roaming staff come down and immediately ask, what do you need? Where do you need me? How can I help? And essentially, I gave Snow a runner and kind of had them divvy out dealing with the attendees. Well, I worked with Tango, Jace, and everybody else to make sure that like this runs in a way that like everyone can agree with and isn't upset about, and that like we were able to make every event happen without issue. Now, what that meant was that Who Gave Chewie a Mic and Smash or Pass were placed right up against each other. So we went from Smash or Pass straight into Who Gave Chewie a Mic, which worked out, but it could have been so much worse if it was a different event. Like, if it wasn't Tango's event straight into my event, that could have caused strife. But the fact that we were fine with them overlapping into each other, and AV was part of the panel, so no matter what, the panel would stay open until AV leaves, kind of made it, like, manageable. Also alleviate stress from us for checking IDs, because we can do a whole block of 18 plus panels down the hallway with one staff rep the ID in each room. Yes. Tragedy feeling that after I go for 3 as my friend group carried this con for me, I could never be any more thankful for them. And what was that in response? I love the con, but all the stories coming up make me really not want to give them money anymore. And I think a lot of people, and that's an okay thing to think, because all of us running this are not trying to harsh your mellow.
Yep, this is just what we experienced and what occurred to us and why we felt we had to resign from our positions.
The reason that we put in our resignations early on, but were willing to work it through, was for all of you. We were willing to make sure that this con happened and that everybody was able to have a good time, because we care about everybody who attends so much.
Part of our resignation for me and Chewy was, and everyone kind of talked to everyone. We're all local staff, so there was some similarities between them.
Yeah.
But
for
me and Chewy specifically, we no longer felt we could adequately support the community in any meaningful sense. And then on top of that, I can't discuss as to why, but I no longer felt safe working under that convention either.
Yeah.
Like, safety for me was a concern that I had to mention for a reason for leaving.
Yeah. And Pilot, no, you didn't miss everything. You missed some of the good times talks, but you were there for most of those, so it doesn't matter. And now we're kind of just slowly going through the incidents and problems that had occurred that were legally not in a gray area to talk about. And good news about wanting to attend Furski, that is run by locals. So any WI Furs based event is run by locals here in the state, and a lot of it is hands off by the board of directors for Aquatifurs, or they are the ones they are helping. I am the secretary for Aquatifurs though, so I might be a little bit of a, a gasser for that. Furski is a skiing and snowboarding event held up in kind of a similar area to where Aquatifur is, up in those beautiful mountain ranges that you saw. Or hills,
And I
for
said
some
I
of y'all.
couldn't do it, but I still staffed.
Yeah, yep. Which was like my first fursuit I ever interacted with at my first Aquatifur. Oh, I'm really glad that I was. I hope that
That's
I
so
made a good
unfortunate.
impression back then. But yeah, and again, the Wisconsin crew, with how we've been staffing, is something where it's very community led. We do things because we want to help out the community, and we all work kind of as a collective in that sense. Like,
We staff because we find enjoyment in it, and we find enjoyment seeing other people enjoy something that we helped make.
yeah. Oh gosh, my first fursuit games that I ran, or one of the first few. Oh gosh. I was probably a way worse public speaker than I am now. Now it doesn't even scare me.
Well, since you said ski pilot, Techno would teach you. If you
You
want
can
to
also learn
snowboard,
to
unfortunately,
snowboard.
the teacher is Chewy.
No, I think it's wavy.
It's you with friends. You steal your friends to
With
teach
friends,
them.
I teach them off the books, non-officially, but that's just because it's fun. But if only we had tens of thousands to have a locally run furry-con. So we don't currently. But there is always methodology and things.
There's
and
always
that-
a chance and stuff. We're not gonna say a hard yes. We're not saying hard no. It's
We're-
a thing that's been talked about, but due to the political climate and everything,
We're yeah.
no one feels, even if we wanted to, it's a right time to do so.
Money is hard for everybody right now, so trying to start a new con is kind of one of those, like, we could either
It would be financially irresponsible.
it'd either go really well, or we would immediately bankrupt ourselves. There's
Yeah,
there's
things could
essentially
happen. There's fully possible for stuff in the future to occur, but right now we are looking at moving forward. We are focusing on the events that we do have.
yes.
None of us want AI to necessarily tank. Aquatifur still is an important piece for a lot of us, and we can only hope that they take our feedback that we gave them when we turned in our resignations.
Yeah.
Because I think almost every staff member that I know of that turned in some gave feedback as to why and what would need to be changed for this to not have occurred.
Yeah. There's a time and place
And
for
it's-
everything, but not now. You're exactly correct,
It's
Pun.
in their hands now. It's out of
Yes.
ours. We gave them all the information that we could. What they do with it is what they do with it.
My only concern is I worry that how they run conventions and how they want to run conventions might not jive with the community here. And it might cause issues farther down the line the farther they're willing to dig into that. And
I think, unfortunately, with them running 3 other conventions that aren't in areas like the Midwest for community type stuff, influences their policies to the point that it suffocates the Midwest and its community, its personality. What makes the Midwest is our sense of community to each other.
like I
How
want
willing we are to go above and beyond. And unfortunately, not every place is like that.
Like, I want you to think about for a second. Try to imagine. They're kind of the 3 stereotypes. What would a East Coast party be? What would a Midwest party be? And what would a West Coast party be? Now, you probably imagine 3 very different kinds of parties. You know, what East Coast, you probably imagine, you know, like everyone cramming into a tiny apartment, making it work, but like it's still being a rager, and you're probably getting the most drunk out of everyone there. The Midwest, you're
it's
probably
the reason
Yeah.
We have federal laws, and then we have so many different state laws.
Yeah.
There are things that work well in an overarching type of thing, and there are things that have to be on a base by base basis.
Mm-hmm. And they aren't willing to allow Aquatifur to thrive on its own, which I feel it needs to in order to succeed in a viable method compared to the rest of their conventions. And it's their company. They're allowed to do that. It's just not something that I can be a part of because it doesn't share values and methodology that I think that I can work with.
It killed my motivation. Kitsune Con is my home con, and I struggled to even send a message to be like, hey people, I have a Google form, please submit stuff.
Yeah.
And I will get back to it after the holidays. I also staff for First Squared. I have severely been slacking on what I should be doing for that
Yeah.
due to how bad this has made me feel. I just had no motivation. It killed all motivation for any other convention that I was working.
Like I said with my streams beforehand, I was getting snippy. I was lashing out at people.
It was affecting our personal life.
It was creating a hostile environment just because of the fact that it existed. And when my volunteer work is more stressful to me emotionally than my actual job, something's wrong.
Shoot, we won.
So now that we've kind of discussed the teamwork of Saturday, let's revisit Sunday. So we told you how positive and wonderful it was and everything nice about it. Now, behind the scenes of each of those, things had occurred. It's either petty, small grievances that we didn't know about until later, or I guess hearsay of one of the people that they brought in slamming a door during closing ceremonies because they got so upset about something. But so I run charity auction. You know, I have always kind of had full control of charity auction for my crew, my methodology, my record keeping. I've kind of always
Do not name names.
I've always kind of had.
I know where you're going with
I'm
this,
not going to
alright?
name names. I've always kind of had a full control of how charity stuff works with getting everything done. So this year, they had brought people in to help try to manage a lot of our jobs. And I think
The words that were used was oversee and learn.
yes. Now, based on how they reacted to stuff, I feel like they were trying more so to take over and become the face of. So at the start of charity auction, while I am managing Snow, Techno, 2 runners, and then maybe a couple other staff to make sure everything's all good and that we and AV's got everything running. One of these individuals comes up and goes, "Hey, I'm here if you need me, if you need help running the auction or anything, or if you need me up on stage." And I go, "No, I should be fine. I have a crew all set up and assembled. If you want to go help one of the board with record keeping or something, or helping do take payments, that would work out great. Or if you want to give me a paw as a runner, I can have you do that." And they went, "Okay," and walked off. Now, apparently later, am I allowed to talk about the hearsay that we heard from that?
It is all hearsay, and this is from people who supposedly witnessed it.
I was told that they went and told the board that I told them to fuck off. That is specifically
I'm putting the words in your mouth, yeah.
putting the words in my mouth. That is what they said. I told them. Now, I very clearly,
supposedly,
and people were around, I told them that I didn't need them on stage. I had a crew, and I could use them as a runner, and that was it. I didn't talk to them anymore after that. I didn't even see them after that. And for everyone who was there, you saw how the charity auction went. Me saying something mean like that to somebody wasn't even a thing on my thoughts that I would do. Unless you were bidding on something and being iffy about if you're gonna keep bidding or not, and you back out and then get back in, then I'm gonna bully you. But that's a different thing, and that's not what we're talking about. And what is... Oh gosh.
It's fine.
Okay, you want to copy and paste that out for something that I can read later?
It's not a thing that you should be talking about because it's not.
I don't think I've ever heard you fully mean fuck off meanly like that. I think there's one person that I've said that to in my entire life, and it's definitely not one of them. Now this now during closing as well, I don't know what fully occurred with this, so this is also hearsay. I saw some of it, and then I'll state where everything else became hearsay, because then it was my turn to go up and I didn't notice. Oh god. Hold on, I need a drink. My voice is still messed up if you couldn't tell.
All our yelling, messed up our voices, so apologies.
So during closing ceremonies, our con chairs were up on stage. I believe this was when Snow was doing her bit with the guests of honor. So there were 2 mics up there. I think I had the 3rd mic. I think we only had 3 mics. This other person goes up on stage, stands next to the chairs. I don't think anyone acknowledges them. And they leave. And they get back off stage. Then I go up on stage. I do my bit with the charity and chat with her and stuff on stage, and announce our numbers. Apparently during this, they storm off and slam a door. I didn't hear this bit, but a few people mentioned that they saw this occur. So there is some level of, I think there was people trying to take over the things that we do. I wouldn't be surprised if they are the ones that are taking over next year, because it seems very odd for them to act like this. And mind you, I, again, had no idea. This brain is empty. It was only thinking about funny. Oh, I did hear a door slam during closing? Okay, so maybe there's more validity to it than I thought.
Chewy and I have no clue. For this type of situation, it was all things that was told to us, like third person?
This is just us.
Whatever the word is.
Yeah, we're kind of getting now a bit more into hearsay of, they brought these people
Rumors,
in.
hearsay that got told into us.
These people were brought in from other cons, and this is what occurred. I don't know
whether it's true or not. We don't know. It was just stuff that was said and reported to us, and we're just kind of sharing it.
Yes, because again, if it seems like stuff that's out of character, but it's kind of confusing, and it's fair to bring up, because even during all of those great times we were having,
I think it was both, Jess. I was told maybe by someone who saw it, and then I think a lot of it was third.
I think there was second and third hand witnesses, because I feel like there were multiple people backing it up, and
we were just too busy. We didn't see a lot of it.
Oh, and anyone knows when if we have anyone who's worked under me here, you know that I am very kind to my workers, and if I am like
Yeah, she
being
tries
a,
to
if
drown
I'm
you
being
in a pool
bra-
for training.
that is good for them, and it builds character. We don't talk about that. It builds character. You can't trust your own events team if you're not able to kill each other, but then stop yourselves from drowning them. That's how you build consent and teamwork. But anyone who's worked with me knows that I am very, like... If I am frustrated, you can tell I'm frustrated, but I am trying not to take it out on anybody. I am just trying to make it work, and I will usually just assign you a thing to work on as we try to deal with everything. Should I wish I could have stayed for closing now? We had to catch our dinner reservation. Hun, no, please eat. Please get food.
No, yeah.
We appreciate it. It's just part of my plot, yeah. But afterwards, one of the nice things, and I'm not sure the reasoning because this has never happened before. The dealers made us, all of the staff, a goodie bag.
Yeah, so that was a nice thing. All the dealers apparently got together and got the staff a goodie bag.
So like bunch of merch from their tables and stuff, and like some treats and like a bunch of knickknacks and cute things.
It was so nice. Chewy and I unfortunately showed up when it was picked clean, but
Yeah.
Techno, being the nicest them I've ever known,
Critter.
picked me up a Umbreon charm that literally caused me to start crying when I got back to our room and I looked in the bag that they got me.
In an egg bag.
Uh-huh.
And I have a meat bag, and it's got little sinew straps that you can put like a pen in. It's like a T-bone. It's really cool. And it's got like a bunch of stickers, a face masks, a couple pins. But yeah.
But Techno saw the Umbreon and went, Snow's gonna want this. And I had been looking at it in the dealer's hall. I didn't have the money.
Techno, did you have to fight people for that, or did you just go, this is Snow's favorite Pokemon in the world, and everyone backed off? Like, how did you secure that one? Like, I gotta know the tale for there. Were you just there first and got lucky? Nah, I saw it and stashed it. Well, that's good. Yeah, Snow and I, after closing, before we started doing takedown, we were emotional and we had to go back to the room, take off our fursuits so that we could, like, actually do teardown appropriately. Because I've usually done teardown as a Sphinx in fursuit, but I think that this year was the first year where I'm like, I'm good. I'm too emotional. I'm crying. My fursuit's probably got a bunch of tears all over its shoulders and arms from Snow and myself. So, like, we were just trying to be good and not, like...
Yes, she did also get me an Umbreon pin banner.
Oh, yeah, I got her the Umbreon pin banner, too, yes. So, Snow obtained a fair bit of Umbreon merch, and Snow got us a little Mudkip and Feraligatr art. Was it Pokemon Mystery Dungeon art? It looked like it. At least yours did, but I've never seen Feraligatr in Mystery Dungeon.
Oh, you mean the cards?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it looked like their little profile icons.
Mystery Dungeon.
Oh yeah, Techno got a brick and Techno got a plain door.
So you can evolve Pokemon in Mystery Dungeon. A lot of people just don't know it because it's kind of a not explained thing.
Yeah, I probably never properly, like, I played Mystery Dungeon as a stupid child. I've never, played it as like an adult. That might be something I should do sometime.
I want to go back and do it.
Chewy reloading over and over and over until she gets Totodile.
I never had to do that for Mudkip. I was just a personality.
I believe Techno might go to MFF. I know I can't because work has decided that I am doing overtime and inventory count all that weekend. So I don't even get off during MFF. I work all of it. It's so bleh. Have fun for me, everybody. The door is from the Boeing aircraft. Yeah, the one that the doors blew out of. Techno got it. You know, one of our staffers it landed in their yard. So they brought it, painted it Techno colors, and now we own it.
I think our next convention that we're planning to attend is Fur Squared.
Yes. Currently, Snow's getting a job, so like a better paying job, so we'll maybe, hopefully, be able to try to go to Furry Migration this year.
We're gonna look at trying to attend some more cons that we don't staff.
Or just do a hosted event at. You know?
Yeah,
low
but that's
stakes.
Not staffing, that's
low
volunteer.
stakes. I swear to God, if Wiffletech tries to pull me in, I'm gonna kill him. And because the issue is I'll probably say yes. I have to plan a local furball during MFF weekend in the UP. Well, that is important for the people who can't go. So you are kind of doing a public service by like still allowing people to feel community during a weekend that is very rough on a lot of people who can't afford to go.
By the way, I do love you. I do plan to probably end closer to 7 p.m.
I agree.
So if there's anything
overtime.
else you want to talk about, I just want to eat.
Yeah, no, I
would
get that.
recommend that you do so.
Yeah, I guess the biggest things that I struggled with that made me decide to leave was being treated like I was a child by the board in terms of like my abilities and what I can do. I always felt like if I did things the way I normally do, I would get yelled at and punished. And it wasn't fair that that would occur. So, and it's the thing of a lot of it felt like I know better than you. Which, for anyone who's dealt with that when you're trying to do things and you have experience in it, and somebody who maybe knows what they're doing at their own event but not the one that you're at is trying to backseat game for you. Except you can't ignore it. And you have to listen to them. Knows. It wears on you. And whenever... And you just can't argue with it, otherwise it becomes a whole thing, and then you might not even be allowed to even attend or something. It's a stressful feeling that festered for weeks and months upon months, where I've been mentally unwell for a while now. I've been extremely mentally unwell for a while now because of the leadership of AEI. And the one thing that I could say is I'm going to miss Aquatifur. I'm really going to miss Aquatifur. But I'm also really glad that I don't have to deal with them again. That I don't have to professionally address any of them or worry about stuff involving that. Because of the people that I have to report up to. The community is what made me fall in love with it. The board is what made me realize that this is toxic and I can't stay.
And we're going to continue supporting the community going forward in different ways at different events.
Yes. This will not in any way affect any of the other events that I work at. I have continuing prospects elsewhere. Like I've stated, I will be heading up and figuring out how best to run a charity department Also catering to Safe Haven currently at KitsuneCon. So working on the anime side of that and supporting KitsuneCon as much as I can. I might be supporting First Squared. I will have to see. Tango might be I might be an advisory role under Tango for charity. I don't have that squared away yet, so that's just hearsay. I will still be helping out at Fursky, so you will always see me there. After this year with the Wilderness Campout, I might be trying to come back in and maybe do a little bit there. And Jace is going to have to beg on their knees for its rough out, and I mean beg, for me to do anything there, because one camping thing a year is rough already, because I'm not much of a camping girly. And if you want two, that's gonna take some work.
No, it's not. I've already in discussions with Jace about dragging
Oh God. Okay, so keep an eye out. But a lot of stuff locally, I'll still be taking care of. I'll still be participating. This isn't goodbye from
This
everything.
isn't goodbye. It's just the end of a tale that we wish we could have continued.
An 8-year tale for me. I have worked 8 years at this. And I've been there since it had 200 people and was at the Kalahari. And I ended this con with almost 2,000 people at the Chula Vista. I feel like that was a good 8 years. I would have loved to see it keep going farther. But I also have to protect my mental health. I've gone through a lot in life. I'm still going through a lot in life and getting better and hopefully getting myself to a place that I'm happy with. And I can't have room for stuff like this that drags me down so hard that for a quarter of the year, I am mentally at my worst. I don't deserve that. No one here deserves that. We'll figure stuff out for, another con like this. There'll be talks, there'll be thoughts. Nothing's set in stone yet. But the future, I feel, is a little brighter now that I have finished everything at Aquatifur and that I don't have to have that weight on my shoulder. Snow and I even said it when we were listening to one of the Has-Been Hotel soundtrack songs. We listened to it before we got there, and we listened to it after we got there. Or after we left. It hit different. The weight that we felt wasn't there anymore. Yeah. Basically 2K because of ghost attendees. Yeah, no, we definitely hit 2K. Like, there were absolutely 2,000 furries there. I could guarantee you that.
With how close it was to that number and the issue with ghost attendees being just a general thing.
Yep.
Definitely hit 2K in some sense.
But yeah, the Aquatifur arc is over. We'll have to figure out a new aquatic-themed pun if we choose to go for a similar vibe. But we will return like a phoenix to the fire, except kind of gay, a little quirky, way too many puns. But we will be back in some way, shape, or form, and I am excited that a new stage is happening, and I'm really happy that everybody is with us. Did someone say puns? Yes, puns. Very gay fire. Yeah, the fire is rainbow. Techno, can one of our mascots be a gay phoenix? I feel like that's appropriate. When it rises, it goes, hey!
Yeah, so this is basically everything that we are allowed to say without getting into some murky waters where we might get into trouble and stuff.
And if you want to help us in any way, shape, or form, Be kind
Something
to
being
the be kind to the staffers. Make sure that everybody is taken care of, and just remember
Treat each other with respect.
Yeah, treat each other with respect, and just remember, be careful with cons and stuff, I guess, you know how people are treated, and making sure that people are taken care of is one of the most important things. If the staff's taken care of, an event is amazing. Aquatifur being my first con ever, you all did a fabulous job being at your limits. Thank you, everything. Who gave Chewie a mic was a riot. It seemed like everywhere I turned, I saw one of you three. That's just because we're really good at walking fast and having chaos. Like, I swear people are like, I just saw you, and I'm like, yeah, welcome to this this event. We'll be doing something one place. It's also, we know this place. Like the back of our hands, we know the Chula Vista. There are so many secret pathways that you don't know about. Like there are so many routes that you're not even thinking about that we know that we are running past and through. And I'm glad who gave Chewie
everything we
a
talked
mic
about
was a riot.
today has been our perspective, our experience, and our personal feelings towards everything.
Yes.
Other people may have different opinions, different perspectives.
Please do
We
not
do
use
wish
this.
them the best.
Please do not use this as an excuse to attack the board directly. Criticism of an organization is something that is valid, but please do not attack people. I do not condone any attacks on anybody, any member of AEI, or anyone still affiliated with them.
This weekend they seemed to be understanding, they seem to listen some, and we can only hope that continues to go forward.
And hey, if this era was that amazing with the staff we were handed, I can't wait to see what happens when we do it right. Yeah. If our staff can handle this, just wait till you see what happens when they're actually given a place to thrive. It's so funny, Snow came with Taco Bell. Yeah, Flo just had a fucking rice burrito that I just stole. It was good. Show him what
I was
Midwest
happy they
nice
just handed
means.
me the bag and I was allowed to take it.
It's Flo. They don't care. I was allegedly stoned out of my gourd at a meet and greet Friday night, and I most definitely got lost and walked in a circle at least 3 times. Hell yeah. To be fair, I really do enjoy the Chula for that. You enjoy the hot sauce donut too, Chewy? Oh, my butthole stung. Everything hurt that night, I hope you know.
Since we are getting close to the time, I just do want to say thank you to everyone who made Aquatifur what it was, all our friends who attended, the community who showed up. Like, that includes staffers, because at the end of the day, my statement stands. Staff is just attendees who are volunteering their time.
Yes. I accidentally fell asleep
You
during
guys
a
are
panel,
what
that's
makes
why I
it
had
what
to
it
leave.
is.
You could have stayed till it was over. Wiffletech would have carried you home. Hot sauce donut? Jess made me put hot sauce on a donut for charity, and it was very hot. I low-key enjoy how confusing the Chula Vista's layout is. It's like an adventure, yeah! Especially when it's this full of furries, because you'll wander around for like 20 minutes lost, and then you'll see the cutest fursuiter, and that's the only time you'll ever see them. It's like a mystical journey. You could have just met like a deity, and you don't even know it. They could have just been a really cute fursuiter, or they're like an elder god that like just exists here, and you have no way of knowing. It's great.
Really took the cake at first squared. That cake was so good.
It was a good cake. I felt a tongue on my butt when they were cleaning that cake off me, so I know someone was enjoying it with the added sauce. I'm happy with how much money the things I donated raised. Yeah, Pilot. I think it was because of the fact that this was our last year. I really fucking wanted to buy that quilt from you to hang on my wall. And I was so sad that my financial situation couldn't allow it. Because that one was beautiful.
I had $200 to spend, and everything that we wanted was like $250.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we did cake sitting last time I did burlesque at First Squared. Cause me and Snow won, so we sat on a cake. And people ate it off our booties, and I felt a tongue. I still don't know whose tongue it was. I want you all to know that. I never discovered the tongue.
Oh, I got here early.
Hey.
I mean, you got
So
here
Stacy,
early.
I took a finger off your butt, Chewy. Yeah, well, I felt a tongue. Remember you two being jealous about the Door County grab bag? Yeah, that one was cool too. Like, if I had to
So
choose
the Door
between the
County
two,
grab
though,
bag is because I plan to take Chewy on a nice date up there once I get some money put aside. There are a few places up there that have indoor heated pools, steam rooms, and hot tubs all within the hotel room itself.
like personal. And yeah, Pilot, every time you bring stuff and like put your heart into them, it lightens up it brightens up my day because of just how much love you put into the stuff you make. And especially that one that was like purely felt like Aquatifur. I guess it really felt sentimental, and I'm really happy and hope that I'm glad it found a good home. I guess is the thing that I'd say. And I'm very envious that they got it. But I know it's gonna be taken care of and it's gonna be appreciated. And yeah, it's very sentimental. Yeah, there are so many cool places in Door County. Door County, yeah, is such a cool place I want to see. Snowed. Was it me or you that discovered that we can't go to the cranberry bogs?
Oh, I knew of it long ago, but you discovered what occurs there and you went, you are never allowed there. I went, I know.
Oh, yes, I was aware of it, and then we talked about it, and I was like, you can't go to them, and you were like, yes.
No, I was aware of it, and then you saw something, like a video, and
Oh, yeah. It was gonna be part of my speech at their wedding. I couldn't wait until then.
you should watch me lick a popcorn bag.
Oh yeah, she's a monster. I've never understood that I am like never going to be her true like affection until I've seen her go to town on the butter in a popcorn bag. Oh, because of the cranberry spiders. Yes, the cranberry spiders. The spiders that live in the cranberries. I got so many questions at that. I just tuned back in at the wrong time.
We're playing Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, we're just playing Final Fantasy 14, working on we have to grind out the PvP, and it's real easy to mindlessly do while we're talking about stuff like this. Because it doesn't matter how much work you put in, really, you get the same amount of points towards your like experience, really. So it's kind of just play and talk about this, and we gotta level this up anyways so that we can get our an outfit that you get. Yeah. So lather yourself in popcorn butter, Chewy. Come on, it's right there. Listen, I'm not in a place right now where I could do that and not get it over everything. I need to get some like some like latex sheets or something that I can coat myself in butters and not have to worry about it soaking through everything and smelling like butter for a year. Because I don't know about you, but falling asleep to the smell of butter feels like it's a great way to gain 10 pounds.
I do that and I still lose weight.
But getting it over everything is the best part. Maybe consider trash bags. Yeah, what like me get in a trash bag, fill it with butter and like marinate in it? I feel like you're just asking Snow to eat me now.
Putting you in a bathtub.
Bathtub of butter. Chewy in the butter. Butter the Chewy.
You're just a corn on the cob now.
I made the design and I hand drew the silhouettes. I was really happy with how it turned out. I hope you can get one of my quilts someday. I really hope so too. And I think I'm going to make a solid attempt to one day, and hopefully my finances will be in a place where I can.
Are you talking about this February for First Squared? Like the one coming up?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll be going.
Sure Cobalt.
Yeah, we're going. I showed interest in doing Furlesk, so I think we'll be doing that. But
I showed interest too. We'll see how time works out.
Marinate the chewy for 15 minutes to an hour for optimal absorption. Okay, so either I'd taste delicious or I'd have the worst acne of my life.
I think you're gonna have that both ways.
Yeah, I think no matter
I'm gonna be
what.
staffing it. I'm doing IT though, so I don't know how much during the con I'll have to actually do. And then Chewy isn't staff right now, but she is looking up her last.
Yeah. And Hobart, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Choo Choo Train. I should go through Arya the Lion, Lemon Drops, and Frostbuck, and Rabbit Wolf. Thank you all so much for your follows during this. I did not want to, add that in while pacing through that just because of a lot of emotion. So thank you all so much for following and joining. We have an amazing community here, as you can see through all the support that we've had throughout all of our struggles with what's been happening. And please, you're more than welcome to join in with this community, join the Discord, hang out, have fun with us. I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and sometimes Fridays, depending on if I'm feeling real fruity. But thank you all so much, and if you haven't yet, there is the Discord link. Feel free to join. It pings whenever I go live, and we have a wonderful community.
So, it was a different group this year.
Yes, it was not. Fur Allure is a Minnesota-based one. They are not the same as us. For DBF, Down Bad Furlesque, is based down here in Milwaukee. It was a different group that they brought in for it. A lot of the people are the same, but it is a different crew that hosts it. It doesn't mean that, you didn't see, you definitely saw familiar faces because we have the same assistants and stuff and a lot of performers, but it's just how it's organized and ran is just a little different than us.
Yep.
Eventually, I know Koopy's been iffy about performing at FurryCon, so I might have to make my own burlesque crew at some point. Especially because I also want to see about running it at KitsuneCon. Yeah. But if you were there and you enjoyed the camera work and the transitions and tracking for a lot of those shots, I was up in the booth helping the AV team and giving instructions for the high up cam for tracking and what to do. And I would just do the scene transitions between them. So I was still participating in some way, shape, or form.
I want to know the secret about the chair. You understand this is a live stream. Oh my god.
My friend bought it and we're planning on delivering it to their front door. You're going to give it back to them? Okay, so fun fact about them too. I went to high school with him. I was a year older than him, and apparently he met me in when we were doing art classes, and I didn't even know that me and Playboy were in the same school. So. And it took them fucking like 6-7 years to tell me of us perform. Like, it took us 4 years of us performing together before like they went, I went to school with you, right? And I go, what?
This is news to Chewy.
Especially because I transitioned. I'm like, no one at school knows that I went to school with knows that I was trans. Repeat those numbers. Which numbers? I forget. I forget how many years I've done all my stuff, because it's been a while. I think since I started transitioning, so 4 years? 67, no. Did I say 6 to 7 years? Fuck!
I believe
Fuck.
you did.
Fuck! I'm not even doing it on purpose! Ah!
Congrats, you're cringe now.
No, I'm not. Listen, I was keeping up with the cringe to be funny for flow, but now I've like paced them. It's like I don't know if I could do it anymore because I'm not gonna stay with it for this even younger kids. But like I don't get it anymore. I don't get it. I'm gonna keep with like Zoomer talk with like with like I don't even know the words anymore. I just added them to my vocabulary and I just say them now. That's why you say unironically, yes. But eventually it becomes ironically. I love misusing the language of young people. Oh, it's so much fun. I just don't understand it anymore. You know that 6'7" God named the word of the year by dictionary.com, right? Oh god. It got named word of the year. No. Well, it is 7, so sadly I have overtime and Snow needs to eat, so I think this is where we will be calling this for the night, everybody.
Yeah, because unfortunately, with this weekend, our stomachs have both drank quite a bit again, and I have to work up to being able to eat actual meals that'll allow me to gain weight.
I appreciate everybody for coming to this, for chatting about this.
Ow.
It felt really good. It felt like
We appreciate you listening.
Yeah. It feels really nice to be able to kind of talk about this and get it off of our chests a little bit.
Getting to tell our side of the story and letting people know where we stand and how things went down. And getting to say a proper goodbye.
Okay, Snow, for rating out, I got 2 people playing Final Fantasy. We got someone doing Savage / Extremes. And we have another person that's playing Final Fantasy Tactics.
Savage / Extremes, because that's where I will be heading once I get you.
So we are going to raid out to Ari Buns. I'll send that over to you, Snow. Oh, excuse my bad spelling. So be sure to copy down that hashtag #ChooChooTrain and send our love over to Ari there. You'll get a chance to see what peak Final Fantasy 14 actually looks like, and not just me and Snow being silly goobers playing PvP.
Where I plan to get to once I get Chewy up to the right area.
My friend Ari, yeah, they're doing the same crazy stuff we are, so it works out. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today and allowing us to kind of talk about all this. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night. I love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Ready, Snow? 5,
Ready.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. So I'll have to end.